Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of masked fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com. In a world controlled by massive corporations, a steady aim and split-second decisions are needed for your megacon to complete its goals. Begin your missions at the Mercs Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hey, and welcome to the Weekender. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we have a fun show ahead of us today. We have a lot of stuff to look at.
Indeed, loads of stuff.
Do you know what? We're just going to get stuck right in. Check this out, baby. Yeah.
AvP has arrived in the
so
studio.
AvP is with us.
Yeah, this is a rather monstrously heavy box, Lloyd.
It is. Look at the size of that box.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is huge.
And it's lovely. Look at this.
Well, let's get it under the camera here so we can get a look at it. So
really nice artwork on the
do you know what? It weighs. Oh.
Okay, not with equipment there.
Yeah, give it another little drop.
Are you ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Oh!
That is.
Yeah, you can feel the shockwave off
that. Is.
It was about the shockwave.
Right. Okay. I just want to get into it.
Yep.
The box itself is absolutely beautiful. And then inside, let's get it up. We have the assembly instructions.
Yeah, so the miniatures in this you do need to put together yourself.
Okay, so all of the bits and pieces for the assembly are there.
Mm-hmm. So you've got your alien infant warriors, your stalkers, you have your 3 predators, you have your 5 colonial marines.
And what else?
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Okay,
there's a ton of stuff in this.
You've got 15 aliens, and they're stalkers and infants.
Yeah, there's 10 infant warriors.
Yeah.
5 stalker aliens.
Okay.
5 marines, 3 predators.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Possibly.
Okay.
But you might think 3 predators is a bit low, but they are hard as nails in this game.
Yeah.
They are absolutely rock solid. So, Lloyd, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Open these up.
Okay.
And get the cards out.
Okay, wait. I want to show off, right? So you've got a rulebook in there. Okay.
Yes.
The rulebook is spot on.
Yep. Tons of diagrams. Everything you need in there to actually start building beyond the box, because it has full army lists at the back with points costs.
For proper wargaming.
Yep. If you're wanting to go nuts and get a ton of these out on the tabletop, fighting along a nice dark dingy corridor of it. You see this? You've got me storytelling now.
Yes.
You've got me storytelling now.
We've been recording the Dungeon Saga weekend. I have been introducing Justin to proper dungeon delving.
Yes.
And he's totally into it. You'll enjoy that.
Yeah. So
right.
This is what has caused a lot of your weight.
Moly!
Yeah.
Look at that.
So that is all of your game tiles, your tokens. Oh no! Don't put that away, Lloyd. I need that.
Let's put that there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is all
corridors.
Yeah.
You've got all the different shapes. They're all done on the nice little jigsaw pattern. You've got air vents.
Hey, that is good quality card. That stuff's on, isn't it?
It's really well punched out, because the stuff will just literally drop out. Put in it. See.
Perfect. Yeah. Let's pop out a few of them and then throw them together on the table.
Absolutely. Right. So
there is loads of sheets there. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sheets of this stuff.
Yeah. Now, wait, before we pop too much out, I want to have a quick look. Is there much variation, or are all the sheets basically the same?
You have a set of different shapes. So you have your standard crossroads.
Are they double-sided? They're double-sided.
They are. This, I think, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think this is different statuses in the ship. Yeah. Because the environment's against you as well as you play through.
So right, now we're into some different designs here.
Yeah. So you've got infected, uninfected, and half-infected, and that gives you bonuses for your aliens and your colonial marines.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you're a colonial marine or a predator and you're trying to shoot an alien in an infested tile, you get a -4 each shot.
Yeah.
If you're trying to shoot a colonial marine in a non-infested tile, you get a -4 again, because they're using cover, they know the terrain, they're comfortable. And then the half-infected tiles do for both of them.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing for the artwork actually affects you in game. So it is true representations of terrain around you.
Yeah. Well, I want to show you some other stuff that's on this, so have a look at
Yeah.
this one.
This stuff looks amazing. Justin, what are these things?
We have the escape pod and the laboratory.
Yeah.
So this is all set on board the Theseus. So
Yeah.
it's a human ship. We're sitting in Ridley Scott's time, or the time of the first movie, right? Well, humanity still has to go into hypersleep while they're traveling in space.
Yeah.
Xenomorphs have invaded the Theseus. They're slowly spreading throughout the ship. A group of colonial marines has woke up and has decided, okay, things are going wrong, we need to fix this. The Xenomorphs are going, the humans have awoken. Time to make more of ourselves. The Predators, on the other hand, have been passing by, saw the ships infested, and decided it's time for a hunt.
Yeah.
Is that all the predators do though? Is they just run around and go, "I want a good fight"?
That's the whole culture they have, is they are hunters. Whoever can take down the biggest, nastiest beastie is the best.
And aliens fit the bill.
Yeah, because the xenomorph, depending on what it joins up with, becomes different. I mean, like, you've seen the Predalien. That thing was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And nasty to boot.
I think we've got a closer shot that might pick up some of these really interesting
Yeah,
looking tiles that we're
let's have a
getting.
look at this one. So, check this out.
So that is the escape pod. So one of your missions, you have to get to that and use it to get yourself off the ship.
Yeah.
Predators, on the other hand, are trying to get there, scan it to get all the ship's information.
Yeah.
Xenomorphs, they're generally just trying to kill and maim and eat everybody or infect people.
And then we have this one here.
This is the laboratory. So, again, the different rooms are where you're trying to get to complete objectives.
This one's very like the movie. See them, that control desk.
Yeah.
There's plenty of scenes where people sitting at control desks in those
Yeah.
alien movies and stuff.
Yeah, you then got the cryosleep chamber,
Yep.
the engineering room. You've got
Oh, that's
the
cool looking. That.
That,
bridge.
that is a really nice one.
That's the bridge. And then you've got the ammo locker there. We then have
What's
all...
on the backs of those?
They're double-sided to show
So it's
red
the
light.
same rooms in different
Oh,
colours.
right.
Yeah,
So red alerts. You know,
You see, I think some of this is actually to do with later missions and stuff where the environment is against you as well. Because you have an environmental deck in this, so at the start of each turn you're drawing from that.
When you say the environment, do you mean like the computer system or something?
No. I mean, you might have a puncture in the hull.
All
Your
right.
gravity plating might be
It's
off.
it's not like the video game then when the AI was trying to get you.
No, it's not an AI. The next sheet we have is all the different tokens you need for your characters. So these are all your doors.
Yeah.
Colonial Marines have a nice little rule where they can actually weld doors shut in the game. So they can put down 3 in a game and actually start blocking lines for the aliens to get to them.
No, that I really like.
Like in the movie?
Yeah, like in the
You
movie.
can also weld up the air vents and stuff as well.
And you get 2 sheets of that. So.
Yeah, these are acid blood tokens. So as you kill xenomorphs, they're dropping the acid blood.
Yeah.
These are ping counters. So whenever you're deploying, you start out as a ping. You don't know who's where or what's
Does
where.
everybody start as a ping?
Everybody starts as a ping,
Including the humans?
including humans, including predators, because you don't know where anyone is. You don't know who's who.
What
How does
what
this
is the
work?
objective of the game?
It's got 10 missions in it, right?
Yeah.
Each of the 3 factions plays the missions. Each one has its own objectives. So for humanity, they're trying to clear out the ship and get the hell home.
Yeah.
For the xenomorphs, they're trying to expand and infect the ship even more and more and more until they control the entire thing, land it on a planet, and aha, off we go. Predators, on the other hand, they know the xenomorphs are the worst kind of thing to face, the biggest, nastiest prey. They're in to collect trophies for the clan.
He's loving
I'm
this,
smiling.
isn't
I
Yeah.
love my, hang on, I love my AvP.
I'm
Yeah.
I love
smiling
my
right
AvP.
now because I'm remembering sticking Justin's head onto a Tyranid.
Yes.
Dean Sailor.
Do not stick my head onto one of the aliens out of this
Yeah.
box.
Right, well, look.
Are they double-sided or is it the
The
same?
tokens
Oh,
are double-sided, so it shows you the faction icons here. So
Yeah.
You've got your predators, your colonial marines, and these are your aliens. And these are just for your acid blood tokens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Right. I want to
that
click
stuff
some of this
together.
stuff together.
Yeah.
So let's get it on to see how it
Yeah.
actually goes together.
You'll want to get a room out though because all of that
Yeah.
stuff's kind of the similar stuff that you popped to begin
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, we see all of the ones we have here are all clear. So there is no infection in these.
Yeah.
So this
So-
means this kind of area,
Well,
your
let's take that
colonial
out.
marines really want
And let's
to be
get a
fighting
room.
in this kind of area.
Okay. So the rooms kind of seem to hang off the end a bit.
Yeah. You see,
Um,
through your rulebook, it gives you maps that you're building out.
Yeah.
And from that, you're figuring out, okay, I need to get to here. Do I crawl through an air vent to get there? Oh no!
So there's air vents in this as well.
Yeah. So between rooms, you can have air vents. Between corridors, you can have air
That
vents.
looks like an air vent to me.
Yeah, that would be the air vent. So say I had a T-junction here, and I
Yeah.
had another corridor coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Marine here. He could run to get through this and into here, but you can't end inside this.
Right.
Cool.
Okay.
The fun thing is, xenomorphs can get through them,
Mhm.
humans can get through them, but if you're running from a predator, an air vent's your best mate.
Because predators can't
Too damn
get through
big.
them.
Too damn
Right,
big. Cannot
okay.
fit.
Let's
Yeah.
move on and get some minis out because we
Mhm.
can
Yeah.
always come back to talking about that. No, leave
Yeah.
that stuff there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the minis themselves are really nicely packed,
Mm-hmm.
and you get some nice little D20s with it in the box.
Okay. So
So
your D20s.
yeah,
Okay.
so the minis themselves are
Okay.
all separately bagged.
Uh-huh.
All of the components you need for each set are in their
Right.
bag.
And they're multi-part. Yeah.
They are multi-part.
Okay. So this is the.
Colonial Marines.
Oh God, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're really nice,
Oh,
aren't they?
they're really, really nice. Hang on, I just get them out here to show you. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is your Colonial Marines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now,
Look at the detail on them.
each guy is individual, so you need to be careful when you're putting these together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so once you have that instruction sheet, the way I would advise it is lay out the components on top of the image,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
you will not get it wrong. Because if
So-
you don't,
Well,
You'll
what
be a
we're
little
talking
off.
about here is
the instruction manual,
this
yes.
this here.
So-
yeah.
Along the top, you see your Colonial Marines here.
Yeah.
Right, so this guy
There's
would
the
be
predators
this guy.
at the top. And
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So who would that guy be?
This guy is.
Look at the head.
this guy, I think. Yeah.
Yep, he's the guy carrying the big heavy weapon.
Uh-huh. So let me just go in a bit closer there so
So
you can see. Yeah.
As you do this, you're best laying them out this way. That way you don't put stuff together wrong.
Yeah.
Because each of the guys are individual. There
Uh-huh.
are two guys that are quite similar, but they're the ones you really need to be careful of.
Yeah.
Because I've actually built a set of these already. And
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a faux pas where I put the wrong arm on, and I
Uh-huh.
had to trim it just a little bit to get it to fit back in.
Did you not take it off and put it on the right?
No, I super glued it.
Right. Okay.
So I had to just give it a little bit of a cut to get it to fit properly because I had already built the other one. It was already dry.
while you're bagging them, do you want me to get the aliens ready?
Yeah. Let's get
Yeah,
the
well-
aliens out so we can get a look at them.
Yeah, the ones you're on there, Lloyd.
No, wait.
are
Before
the,
you do that, do you
Yeah.
want to show me the ones that you have built, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, I can show you the ones I've built.
Yeah,
So
well,
for the Colonial
Okay,
Marines.
so
yeah.
now before you do this, right?
Yeah.
You've actually started to paint these,
Yeah.
and you've had a
I've had
a
an idea.
brainwave, an idea on how you want to paint
Womp,
up
Yeah,
your AvP. So talk us through it.
right. Well, first off, the minis are beautiful.
Yes.
I know I don't have the skill myself to do them justice, so I want to do something simple and easy that's going to get them down on the table quick
Mm-hmm.
and still look pretty damn good.
The
Yeah.
minis are really nice.
Yeah. Now, Raman may be about to cringe here. My
Okay.
idea was to turn them into holograms.
Yes.
So, you know the way if you're watching AvP1, you've got sort of the holograms and stuff showing up.
Or the Prometheus one.
Yeah.
Prometheus when the holograms are running through the corridors. and
We don't talk about that movie in this
I
room.
quite liked Prometheus.
The hell is wrong with you?
I like Prometheus. I
The hell
thought
is wrong with
Prometheus
you?
was okay. So I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
comments below. Are they right or are they wrong? Was Prometheus a steeping hunk of...
I thought Prometheus was pretty good.
I didn't like
But
it.
anyway, so the idea is that you
wanted to
have
do
this
them as
board,
holograms.
and then everything is, all of the miniatures are kind of holograms making their way
Yes, so
around
this is sort
the
of like
board.
a tactical overview you're seeing of it.
Yeah.
So I decided I would go for 3 colors for the miniatures.
Yeah.
Blue for the aliens,
Yep.
green for the predators, and red for the Colonial Marines.
Okay. Well.
Because then you can very quickly look at the board. So if you cut to
Well,
it
look,
for me-
we've shown off the components
greys.
of the greys. So bring out the Marines then, do we see?
Yeah, so I decided the Marines were going to be red. Now this is the one that I think didn't work the best out of the 3.
Is
Okay.
this it like a washing technique that you've used?
So what have you done on these?
Basically, I've started with a white primer
Yeah.
and then given them 2 layers of Army Painter red tone.
Uh huh.
That's all.
Have you not given them a dry brush? A dry brush, Justin would.
I've been tempted to give them the dry brush, but I don't know what.
Dry brush them. That if
Yeah.
if you think they're too dark, dry brush will pick out
A
the
dry brush
details.
will pick out the details and make them so much easier to see. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Let's see what they're like on the big. There we go. Because
Mhm.
they're quite bright.
Yeah, well, I
Even
mean,
at
like,
that?
there's a great contrast between the nice, dark, grungy board and the red, green, or blue guys running about. So you've
Yeah.
opened up the Stalker aliens, have you?
I see you haven't based them though, Justin.
No. no. Are we really back to this again? I'm quite happy just having a nice red ping on the base.
Yeah.
You know, as if it's a red tone around them.
Right, Stalker Aliens. This is the
Okay.
bag with less in it. So
Right, so
Yeah.
what have we got here?
You get
In
5
they
of
go.
these.
So,
Now,
that's everything.
you have a couple of different poses with these to
look
work
at
with.
the
So,
details on these
I know,
miniatures.
the tails look great, don't
the
they?
tails are brilliant, and you only have to put 2 components onto them, so the other 2 legs, but you do have left and right-handed ones, so again, separate them out and take your time with it, because you could end up building them wrong.
Yeah.
Now, these I've done in blue, so if you like, I can grab them.
Yep.
Yeah, let me just try and scoot in my direction. I'll start bagging.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with these, are we?
Yes,
I'll bag
and
them up.
please make sure to keep them all separate.
And how many of those did we get in
You
the
get
box?
5 of those,
Yep.
so I have my 5 here if we put them in.
Mm-hmm.
These I've done in a nice dark blue, and I think it gives them a nice sinister look to them.
They've actually turned out not bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would touch those with a dry brush. I know there's
Yeah.
a few little bits of white still peeping here and there, but I'm going to come back and give that a second run to actually just pick it out. You see here at the bottom of the base and such.
A
you can
dry
just
brush
see-
would probably cover all of that, you know.
I'm talking, you see at the bottom of the lip,
Yeah.
where the black's meeting the blue.
All right.
So
Yes.
if I give it another little touch there, just to tidy them up,
Mhm.
Maybe you should just paint the bases black, though, Justin.
maybe, but I like having that circle of colour at the bottom to make it look like a radar ping.
Yes.
See, we completely disagree on this again.
Yeah.
If they weren't sitting on a blue base, they would stand out more as an individual, as their individual pose.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a fair argument. You can make that argument. I don't know. I like them as they are. They are my minis, so they're staying like that.
Right. What else have we got?
Loads of these aliens.
Yeah, these are the Alien Infant Warriors.
Here,
Right.
Justin, I'll give you that back.
Yeah.
There's loads
So,
coming
These
out of
are
Put them out there. Do we get a look at them?
part minis this time, right?
Right.
So you have the
So-
tail and you have the main body.
So it goes.
Mm-hmm. Now
What
you
way
have,
does it
we
go?
need
Do you
to-
have to cut the tail?
Yes,
We need to
you,
get it
no,
on-
you have to cut the vent
Uh
off.
huh.
So there's a vent here and a vent here. Just take a little time with a craft knife. Just be
Yeah.
careful and just give it a little bit of a clean up. You'll be absolutely fine.
Uh huh.
But you get 10 of these in the box, and it's just clean the actual mini for any little bits of mold line,
Yeah.
and off you go.
Uh huh.
Now these again got
Just
done in
look
blue.
at the casting quality of these.
Yeah, the casting quality is fantastic, and I tell you this, they've got a real sinuous feel whenever they're actually up and on the miniature.
I'm
I'll tell you what.
really excited about these.
Yeah.
You know,
Prodos
I've seen them and
know
stuff.
how to do minis.
Yeah,
now,
a little
you know,
further
it's-
down into shop, please, Warren.
I've
Yeah.
seen them and stuff, you know, at Salute and whatnot, but it's only really now that it's sinking in and going, what a cracking job this is,
Yeah.
this box set.
And you see all the muscle and sinew that you see in through the sculpt as well. So I've got these done as well.
Okay,
So load
so
a
let's
few
see
out,
what
bag those.
they look like once they're painted up.
Yep. Now again, these need a little bit of a clean up, but I think they look really cool and really menacing.
I'm not
They
sure.
do look very cool.
How you would actually go about painting these guys for real.
Well, I know Roman has done a HR Giger tutorial where he did sort of a slimy carapace paint scheme.
Yeah.
Geiger is his name, is it not?
Yeah,
I thought
HR
it was-
Geiger.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was Giger. Apologies. But you get 10 of those in the box.
We need a wider shot, Warren.
Yeah, they do.
You know, wider shot, so you get tons of these in the box. This is horde tactics for the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if one of them goes down, there are 10 little brothers and sisters behind them, just waiting to come and munch and punch that weird little tongue-mouth thing into your face.
I was just spreading them out there to see what they're like.
Love it. That tongue mouth thing, yeah.
Sorry, I've done it again.
I would be very tempted, actually. Let's go in. I'd be very tempted to paint them, to give them white, prime them white,
Yeah.
as Justin has done, but hit them with layers of a dark tone wash.
Possibly.
Would they not end up just brown?
Well, no. It's like a black wash, basically.
Mm.
And they would grey and grey and grey, but you would still have a lot of the tones.
Well-
And even if they did end up, you know, kind of
I
like a
was
slight browny tones, I
You
don't think
see-
that would be too bad
you
for an
See,
alien
this
look.
is just the blue tone, and it's maybe 2 coats, and you still have all the detail in there.
Yeah.
You know,
See,
so
when you're working with things,
Yeah.
they have that ability for it to be a bit forgiving.
yes.
You can apply your inks on. It's not going to fill up all the details
yeah,
and leave
and
a
as
big
long as
gooey
you
mess.
work quick with it and don't leave hard edges where it can dry.
Yeah.
Because if you leave a hard edge where it dries and you go over it with more, it's not going to join up. You're going to have that hard edge where it's pulled at the edge
Yeah.
of it drying.
Yeah,
So that's something to watch out for.
You need to continuously work
Complete
the
a
inks.
single
I
miniature
wonder
before
though
doing anything
if
else.
you
Yeah.
mixed up the likes of a bolt gun sort of metal in a
Mhm.
black, so they had a kind of a shininess to them. Do you know the way they have a
Very-
wet shininess to them, the aliens in the
I would
movie?
put a very, very small amount of it. The question is, would it just make the entire thing shiny, or would it actually catch the light?
Because I don't know, but if it only caught the light here or there, it'd be really cool. So what about a very dark grey or black with some of that bolt gun, and
Well-
then like a green wash? So in the recesses, there's a slight tinge difference or something.
If I was doing that, I wouldn't be putting the metal into the wash. I might prime them.
No, not in the wash.
I might
You
prime
paint
them in a metal.
first.
One time in Halfords, we have like a car component place where you
Yeah.
buy bits and pieces for cars, but they had the kind of like a mix up your own spray can
Really?
type booth, and they had flip paints.
I was
Okay?
thinking flip paints too.
Now flip paints.
Is this sort of giving you that pearlescent beetle shell
Yes,
look?
a flip paint is a pearlescent paint.
Mm.
So it as the light catches it,
Mm.
it gives you an iridescent
Ooh.
kind of a look.
If you could hunt that down.
Now it's I've experimented with them on Necrons and Nids,
Mm-hmm.
and Beasts of War have never put out Necrons and Nids with flip paints for a very good reason. It didn't work very well.
I'm
okay?
guessing the surface area was too small.
Yes, surface area was too small. The paint was too thick.
Mm.
It was hard to get it to work.
Mm.
I personally,
Mm.
I think I would prime them black.
All right.
Give them a dry brush of maybe a silver, a bolt gun,
Mm.
okay, just to give them that kind of a metallic
catch the
and to
highlights.
catch the highlights.
Mm.
And then I would actually gloss them.
Right.
I would give them a gloss varnish
Mm.
over the whole thing
Yeah.
to give them that wet,
Eye
glossy
appearance.
look. But I would absolutely make sure to do something scenic on the bases
Mm.
that wasn't gloss,
Yeah, just to
So
highlight
it doesn't look
So-
like you've got crap gloss.
so it
miniatures.
doesn't look like you've just got glossy miniatures. They have to, and if it was possible
Yeah.
to find bits on the minis
Mm.
that wouldn't be gloss, or bits on the minis that maybe would have a slightly different color,
Yeah.
it's not so easy. I would do that. You know, it's you might get away with the gloss on these, but the base itself, I would probably look for some kind of space station scenic
Mm.
kind of bases
Yeah. No, fair enough.
to
Although-
do that.
I will say with these, there's one small vent in the heart of the hand that you need to be careful of.
Yes.
It's just a little bit awkward to get to, so just if you're out there and you're building these, just be careful of it, so you don't
Mhm.
end up taking maybe your knife slips and a finger comes off.
Yeah.
So it's just somewhere to be delicate with them.
Okay.
Next up,
last bag of minis here.
All right. With more.
Yeah,
Of course we have
haven't even got
more.
to the Preds yet.
Yes.
we have the Zippy Stories.
Behold the Predators.
Yeah, 3 of these big boys.
Okay. So the predators are huge, aren't they?
Yeah, they are ginormous. See, you see why they can't fit through an air vent,
Yeah.
just for the sheer size of them.
Oh, they
Mhm.
can't go through the air vents.
No, because they're too big, they're too bulky.
All right.
You know, but each one is individual, so they're all armed a different way.
Yeah.
You have one guy who has the combi stick, which is the spear.
Mhm.
You
Well-
have one with the smart disc.
You haven't built. Show us off the built version.
Yeah.
Alright, let me pull in the
Describe
built
that.
versions. So you've got your guy with the combi stick.
Mhm.
I think the green has worked best out of all the washes that I've used.
Yeah.
Because it's still got nice high points on it,
Yes.
and it hasn't completely darkened.
Why did you not use green for the Marines though?
Because I thought Predator green sort of fits.
Yeah, and he needed the 3 distinct kind of holographic colors.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've used red on the. Oh, I suppose red on Predators doesn't. I can see where
Yeah.
you're going because
Yeah.
Predators have green skin.
Yeah, and you know, humanity, it's sort of, it works that humans are generally
Yeah.
red. That just gives them sort of a stealthy look. That gives them sort of the camouflage look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which guy's which then?
So you've got this guy who's got the combi stick.
Yeah.
He's a combat monster. You've got this guy with the smart disc.
Oh, that's cool when they throw that and it cuts
I
limbs
love
off.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mechanics for that in game I've been reading up on are very cool. You basically throw it through 2 tiles, and on each tile you're hitting 2 people automatically.
Mhm.
So auto hit, you have to love.
And I love the way this guy is using his control panel on his arm. You know that like
Yeah.
self-destruct type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very, very cool.
Okay. Well, there's 10 missions in the main box game, all balanced and so on. One Predator scenario is for them to take trophies from their kills.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't get them from ranged combat, so you have to get into close combat and risk the Marines' firepower.
Yeah, or risk the acid blood from the aliens. Because if you hit them in close combat, if the particular alien you've hit has the acid blood, creates a counter and you take a hit back.
Yeah.
Can I stick my arm up an alien head and use it as a shield?
No, not yet.
Oh!
Not yet.
Well, look, I've got to congratulate Prodos
It's a beautiful kit.
on an amazing product.
Oh, we didn't show off the cards.
It's well, do you want to bring up the cards there quickly, Justin? Just
yeah,
to
we
show
can
them.
quickly show off a couple of the cards.
Okay.
So during your turn, you get different cards. So everybody has their own deck, right?
Yeah.
And you get different abilities. So what's this? Acidic blood.
Yeah.
So that's an alien deck.
Yeah. So you have an alien deck, a predator deck, a
Uh-huh.
human deck, and then you have an environment deck and
Okay.
a mission deck.
Yeah.
So that's
There you go. There's your humans.
yeah. You also have stat cards, which are brilliant.
Okay, so bring up the human deck. So
Yep.
it's a Colonial Marine flamethrower, motion tracker.
Yeah.
One step ahead. So there is a ton of kind of card mechanics in the game then, yeah?
This is my favorite though. This is the environment deck.
Okay.
At the start of every turn, the environment moves against you. So it's an old ship that's breaking down and breaking apart. And so you have different things happening to you.
Gravity fluctuations. Every model may move a maximum 1 tile during its activation.
Exactly.
Well, actually, there's an interesting thing. I don't see any squares.
No, because it's
on
all
the
tile-based. You move by tile.
So just move a tile at a time.
Yeah, and the Predators have a very cool ability.
Yeah, so let's see out in a wider shot. That means the likes of these guys are moving around this map pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And pretty
Where's the
freely.
Marines? Throw on a couple of Marines, just because at this point we'll get to see your full color scheme here, Justin, and how it stands out.
Yeah. Although the fun thing is, some of the special rules, see the Predators whenever he's a ping.
Yeah.
Say he moved to here, he'd be revealed, but he has a special rule that instead of having to stop here, he gets an extra move.
Is this
shift
because of
around.
his like?
That's
kind of
the
cloak.
thermo optic camo
I
and
like
stuff.
that. Yeah.
You know, so everybody's getting their own special abilities and stuff. So there's a bit to learn with it. I will say that. But if it's you and 2 mates just playing away, take your faction, learn your faction, and work away. You know, it's not an overload game, but there is a lot to do in it, and you will have a lot of fun with it.
Well, guys, it's finally here. I know it's been a long wait, but I've got to say, it's been worth the wait. As a boxed game goes, it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. And what is exciting me is that remember how much was unlocked during that Kickstarter. So there's the Pred Aliens, there's a ton of stuff.
There's the big autoloader with Ridley.
Yeah,
That's a good point, because I was looking at the box game going, yeah, that's amazing, and completely forgetting there's all these add-ons.
All this other stuff is yet to come,
Yeah.
and it plays as well as a board game. It also plays as a war game, yeah.
Yeah, there is a expansion stuff. Like I said, back of the rulebook, you can build full army lists.
Yeah.
So you can have an army of Predators versus an army of Colonial Marines versus aliens. So you've got 3 solid factions and more coming out for them. So all the different types of aliens.
I know, it's like
and all the unit entries are already listed there. So you can start to meta this out.
why are so many of the board games now just so tempting to buy in multiples? You know, it's like I'll buy it and you'll buy it. I'll be aliens, you can be Colonial Marines.
I can't express how exciting in my mind it is seeing all these aliens run around and go poof, poof, bursting as you're
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also in the
it's
future
great.
you will get face huggers in this.
Yes.
And you can become infected. And depending on what you infect, depends on what it becomes. So you can actually get the pretty alien, more stalkers, all the rest.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
Okay, guys, we're gonna tidy up a little bit. While we tidy up, let's tell you about some hubs.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Anime cyberpunk style meets skirmish combat in Infinity. Experience 8 high-tech factions and fight to control the human sphere at the Infinity Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hi guys, and welcome back. Okay, so we have decided to lay out a table. We've got Rich from Mantic.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking a bit about Kings of War.
I recently have kind of fell in love with this game.
Well, it is the world's leading mass fantasy battle game. We've been doing some recording for Kings of War. This is the table it's been recording on. It's a little bit battered now, but would you like to see it? Will we show them? Okay, running orders off the table there, guys. So
running orders.
and we'll just give you a shot of it. So
this as well.
This is it here. Justin, do you want to talk us through the features of the table there?
Well, first up, we've got a lot of foreground stuff. So we've got Mordenberg buildings.
Yeah.
So we've got High Street and Back Street.
Mm-hmm.
We then have the ruins of Daldor.
Yeah, this is
lovely.
really nice stuff.
And then we have a couple of Broken Earth buildings up the top here. So we have the Wizard's
Cracked
Tower.
Earth are they?
Cracked Earth.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, you've caught me there.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got the tower and we've got the tavern.
Yeah.
And they just sit in beautifully into this terrain. We've also used the foreground trees again, which just jump out and go, hello, we're actually trees.
Yeah. It's another beautiful looking table. It's put together so easily. A lot of this stuff that we've shown in backstage and stuff like that on the run up to boot camps. Right, Kings of War.
Yep.
There's a lot of people very interested in Kings of War right now. I want to try over the next few minutes or so. I want to get a real feel for where Kings of War is at.
Yep.
We have a brand new rulebook.
Yeah.
Just about to hit. The rules have all been beta tested. It's gone to print.
Yeah,
it is now going to hit any day now, basically.
Yeah.
We have army lists coming for a whole bunch of additional armies. So we'll call a spade. So anybody that has armies from the previous iterations of Warhammer that they don't fancy taking and changing the bases or whatever of, and want to continue playing mass battle games with, there's going to be army lists come out to support all that, to give them a game to play. Dungeon Saga.
Yeah, Dungeon Saga.
Is also going to move the whole storyline of Kings of War on as well, because the storylines, the background to Kings of War is not just the mass battle, it is the Dungeon Saga as well, and it's all progressing that storyline on.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, if we go to the army lists we were talking about.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that have got big armies and they still want to play them as big armies. So the guys on the rules committee have treated these new army lists in exactly the same way we did with the official ones that are in the book.
Yeah.
So they're being thoroughly beta tested at the moment. Mantic forums will have all the details for that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, the ones I'm aware of, we've got the League of Raudia, which is a... What's the word for
Literal human halfling race?
Yeah, it's a coalition of human forces. The Ratkin, which are an evil ratty race.
That
were once slaves to the Abyssal Dwarves. And this is the other thing. They all fit in. They're not just being done for the sake of doing it. They are all being given full background.
So they are being
brought
tied into the whole Kings of War background.
Yeah, the whole world of Mantica is basically taking these in.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood, which are a good human army. I believe lots of knights and some water elementals and things like that. Empire of Dust, which is an evil skeleton army, which are the ancestors of one of the existing human factions, the Ophidians.
Yeah, if we actually look at the Mantic map for the world, you'll actually see where they live down in the bottom right-hand corner there. So it looks like an arid desert sort of wasteland area.
So that's where they're going to be coming from. And the Ophidians are an active human faction at the moment. There's been talks about us doing them as an actual, like we've got the Basileans as a range. There's been talks about it, but I don't know if and when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones, there's some reptilians, which are good salamanders.
Yep.
Because people may have seen the fire salamanders for the nature armies we're bringing.
Yeah.
These are good salamanders. So if you have an existing reptilian race that you want to use, it's there. And there's the Varangur, which are also known as the Shattered Clans.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the later ones that they've just brought into the beta, which are evil.
We get bad humans.
Evil humans worshipping deities.
Yeah.
So those are the sort of existing ones at the moment. They might continue. I'm not sure. It'll be all on the rules committee on the
Well,
forums.
it's nice to see that there is a crossover for those armies to find a new game to have a home in.
Yeah. And the bit I really like is the fact that we haven't just gone, yeah, okay, come and play. It's actually, no, these are now valid armies in the world, in the background.
Yeah.
And one of the existing ones we've had for a while is the Twilight Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a hybrid kit. They were elves with metal bits.
Yeah.
They're going to get redone at some point,
Mm-hmm.
as in a full new list, which is being beaten at the moment,
Yep.
but with full background, and we're hoping a proper range. Like the elves have got a range, we want a Twilight Kin range, but I don't know when or how we're going to produce that yet.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we're doing is Justin has been embarking on his own dwarf army. I'll give you a picture. Here's some of his dwarfs here. We've been having a laugh about the basing.
I like my bases.
The lack of basing.
I like it. It clearly shows me where my forces are on the table. Very quick and very easy to see.
Yeah,
that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it. I'm not lazy. I swear I'm not lazy. For everyone out there who has given me grief in the comments, to hell with you. I'm happy.
We'll see if we can convince him by the end of the show. Where do you see what's coming next?
I'm quite proud of those.
But we're going to be firing up 2 project logs about building 2 Kings of War armies, because over the next few weeks we're going to be exploring what does it take to build big armies, because that's what Kings of War is all about. Kings of War, you can start small, but you can scale quickly. It's highly cost effective in terms of the cost per miniatures and stuff like that. The game itself is structured around although you can create what we see here of miniatures each on their own individual base, you can also equally design them up almost like little mini dioramas, because you're not removing miniatures. What happens is that your fighting force becomes kind of less and less effective to the point where it's rooted.
Your fighting effect doesn't take a hit. You're fit to fight, full strength to the end. It's your nerve, your will to fight that's getting crumbled and crushed away. So you might waver and not be happy fighting. You might not want to, or you might not be able to shoot because you're disordered.
Yeah.
So it's things like that, and then you might rout and run for the hills.
Well, we sat down, myself and Justin, and had to think about 2 armies, because we want to explore how quickly we can put together armies. So we come up with 2 ideas for 2 armies that we're going to do. Each of them we're going to explore the diorama route.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we want to do is to create armies where each unit is on a beautifully decorated diorama.
Yeah.
We may not put exactly the number of minis on it that's
it's a
needed.
footprint game.
Yeah. So, but the first army is going to be undead. But what we're going to have a go at is, it's a technique that we have seen used to great effect elsewhere, where you're creating an undead, but like a ghost undead, an ethereal undead army. So a bit like the guys out of the Lord of the Rings,
the Army of the Dead.
The Army of the Dead.
Yes.
So we have seen a paint scheme that we quite like. So what we're going to do is we're going to build the dioramas of these ghosts rising out of the ground and stuff like that. Little walls and things like that they're climbing over.
Headstones, maybe?
Headstones. Lots of headstones. We need lots and lots of headstones. Little pathways. Cutting through the headstones.
Yeah.
But all of the miniatures will all be painted in that ethereal style.
Okay.
So the werewolves will be ethereal, the ghouls will be ethereal, the zombies will be ethereal. They'll all be just ethereal, ghostly remains of a massive undead army from somewhere within the world of Mantic.
Yes.
I'm really excited about this one, because I have a feeling that the miniatures will go together very quickly in terms of their paint scheme, and that most of the fun will be had in actually putting together the diorama bases and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun, and something that I think fantasy players up until now haven't had a lot of opportunity to do, because it's always been individual minis. And
for me, I like seeing the big full block unit. I think it's impressive to see 20, 40, 60 guys marching in column. So I think for my dwarves, I'm going to stick to doing full units.
Yeah.
So The one thing I will say though, it's been a long time since I've enjoyed painting line infantry.
Yeah.
For these, you have, I think, 5 or 6 different sculpts in the base box, and as you mix and match parts, you get even more different sculpts. So there was enough change in there to keep me interested while milling through the line troopers.
Yeah. Well, we obviously need an opponent, so we come up with an idea for what the second army would be.
Yep.
Now, the second army, again, we're trying to keep the painting challenges down. We don't want to be creating anything that is going to drive us nuts from a painting perspective. So having looked at the armies, we thought that the next one that would be the most easy paint scheme for us to get away with is going to be the Abyssal Dwarfs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're going to run out an Abyssal Dwarf army with the big rock golems. Now, the Abyssal Dwarfs come from levels beneath the subterranean kind of levels.
Yeah.
Are they on the map here?
Yeah, you see the abyss.
You see the abyss up
Yeah.
there?
The big black bit with
On
the...
either side,
yeah.
you've got this Zarak and Del.
Uh-huh.
Those are 2 big Abyssal Dwarf strongholds.
Yeah.
So they're very linked with the Abyssals that are coming out of the abyss.
So there are lots of overtones of fire in the army.
Well, I was thinking fire, dungeons, and things like that.
Yeah.
Down dark, dirty metals, I'm guessing.
So what I'm going to do... No. Oh, we're going to base them in dungeons.
Ah.
Okay, now it might look a bit strange, on the tabletop, and if you're a purist, yeah, what the hell. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, these Abyssal Dwarfs will be in dark, dank dungeon corridors with lava and muck and bits and pieces.
Right.
With
I have
dungeon furniture and
I have
all
a
of
challenge
this.
for the community then.
Yeah.
Are there any small rat miniatures out there that you could be dropping in and around your dungeons as well to be squeaking and skittering about your bases?
I know, yes, I think, is Mantic not coming up with little rats and spiders?
There will be some for Dungeon Saga.
Yeah, for Dungeon Saga at some point in the future.
Dungeon
I think there's...
critters.
Yes. If you can get some of those just to scattering around it, I think would add nicely to your diorama.
So, but it's, again, I'm going to explore, this is all going to be plugged and video logged as we go along, but I'm going to explore some casting. We're going to build these dungeon dioramas out of resin. They're going to be quite gothic in some
Are
respects.
you going to have walls and arches on these, maybe?
Oh yes, there'll be walls, arches, furnaces.
Okay, so while we're playing, we have to remember there's an abstraction to that it's not a moving wall that's going to block line of sight.
Correct.
Actually, the thing, what you're saying with arches and things, you might well be able to use these. Where is your close-up shot?
See where the iron clad unit is?
Bring this,
The ironclad unit. If you want to move them out of the way,
that could work quite well, actually.
Yeah,
little bits of that could work very, very nicely.
So it's we're going to do this. We're going to explore it. We're going to be live plugging it, so as to get a feel for the objective of this is how easy can we make it, right? So it's not about creating miniatures that are of this amazing, stupendous standard. It's about creating 2 great armies that look great, were fun to build, and were quick and easy. Nothing too complex, nothing that is going to require skill levels that are way beyond any of us. So if you fancy following along, come on over to Beasts of War and check that out. But we have now settled on the 2 armies that we're going to be doing.
Nice. My dwarves have some evil kin to crush.
So Kings of War second ed rulebooks coming out. If anybody's got an existing army and they fancy picking it up, there's army lists already on the way. Where do they need to go to get access to those army lists?
It's on the Mantic forums under the Kings of War. You'll find the version 2 betas, and you just go into there. The lists are up there. They're on a Google Doc. The community team are updating them pretty much weekly.
Yeah.
So, and there's a full log of all the changes, but you just get a nice big Google Doc, click on the army you want, play around with it, put your list together. You'll probably find there's units in there that wouldn't necessarily have been in their existing force, but you can bring them in quite easily.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it, I think.
Fantastic.
And the cool thing, I think a lot of them are going to find is, we brought them in, but next we've got the campaign, which is still very vague.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's going to be a summer campaign or a full year, but it is effectively going to change that map.
Yeah.
And the idea
I'm really looking forward to
I'm looking forward to this, because I missed out on the recent bolt action
Yeah.
campaign. So I'm looking forward to getting involved in this. And the idea is that if the good guys win, something will happen. But the bad guys are trying to rip open another abyss. And this all follows on from the story told in the Dungeon Saga game.
Yeah.
Which is because that's happening now in the world of Mantica. And when that ends, it follows on straight. It should follow on reasonably straight into the summer campaign, and that's going to have a direct impact. So that should be quite good fun.
So we're about to enter into a series of releases for Dungeon Saga.
Yes.
Okay. We have a themed weekend just totally dedicated to Dungeon Saga. You have to get this game. At the very least, come along and check out this themed weekend. You will love this. As a dungeon delver, it is.
Well, the other thing is, if you love hearing Warren tell stories, no, because that's what I noticed through it. Your eyes lit up, the inner child came out, and the stories flowed forth.
Yeah, I've been giving Justin an education in dungeon delving.
And I have really enjoyed that, because I did miss out on the original, but Dungeon Saga has really dragged me kicking and screaming into it, and I'm loving it now.
It is great.
Yeah.
And I will hand on heart admit that as much as an education I gave him in dungeon delving, by the time we've worked our way through it, he's actually given me an education in dungeon delving. It has been very, very interesting. Okay, guys, before we go, I think we're going to do a competition.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so this week we have 5 prizes up for grabs.
Yeah.
Okay. A grand prize. First prize is a £50 Kings of War army of your choice.
Yeah, so one of the starter forces, not 50 quid of random stuff.
No,
it's one of the preset
starter
starter boxes.
Okay, so a starter box.
Yeah.
And the Gamer Edition Rulebook,
Which is this.
which is this one. And then we're going to also have 4 runners-up who will each get a copy of the Gamer Edition Rulebook. Now, we're going to do something slightly different this week. Ooh. If you want to be in with a chance of winning, we are going to be picking a commenter at random, but you have to be discussing what kind of army or what would you like to see happening within Kings of War.
Yeah.
So if you put, pick me, we won't pick you.
Or
we'll be picking at random, and if we come across your comment and it says pick me, we're just going to go plop to the next one. And if it's a comment that's well thought out and is thinking and talking about Kings of War, then that one will be picked. However, if that says pick me, we're going to drop again to the next one. So
if you say first, you're not winning.
Yeah, you're not going to win on that one either. So get involved in the dialogue. Bring your thoughts out. Doesn't matter what they are, but bring your thoughts out on Kings of War. Have a great dialogue about it. You can comment either here on YouTube, over on beastsofwar.com, and on the corresponding post that we have on Facebook. And we'll be picking 5 random winners, a grand prize winner, and 4 runner-up winners from in and around all of that. Rich, look, it's been a pleasure.
Lovely being over
Dungeon
again.
Saga Weekend is imminent. We're going to take a very quick break. So let's tell you about some hubs.
Keep your blaster handy, the West is a dangerous place. Fight to survive as men turn to monsters and the dead rise on the Wild West Exodus Hub at beastsofwar.com. Enter into the dangerous dungeons of myth as a mighty hero and stand against the darkness. Visit the Myth Hub on beastsofwar.com and begin your story.
Okay, so last week, in the XLBS version of the show over on beastsofwar.com, that's the extra long backstage version.
Yep.
Justin was showing off his Kings of War army. And
I'm quite proud of those.
The community collectively suggested to Justin he should decorate the bases of his army. I was going to say base his army, but technically his army was base because the miniatures were on bases.
I painted them black.
Was that really just last week?
Yes.
It feels like a complete blur to me.
No, I think it might have been 2 weeks ago.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago.
I think it's 2 weeks ago, Warren. I think you're mistaken here.
Was it 2 weeks ago?
I think it's 2 weeks ago
because
I'm just back from a week off.
Wow.
There you go.
Where does time go?
flies.
Anyway, in the period since then and now, okay,
Yes.
we thought, hang on a second, we know a perfect tool for basing. Okay,
Yes, indeed.
It's by a company called
Warpainter.net.
Warpainter.net. I just was double checking there. Yeah, it's Warpainter.net, and it's called the Flock Box. Now, we did a video about the Flock Box in 2014, early 2014.
Yeah, we did a wee unboxing of it.
And it nearly made it as Hobby Product of the Year in our annual rewards.
Yeah,
So.
because we did a wee demonstration. And the video just took off, and I was like, wow, loads of people are interested in this.
Well, this is the... Well, actually, I'll let you hold it up. This is the Flock Box V1. Okay.
Version 1, I can put that under a closer camera so you can have a look at that.
Yep.
So this is what we had, and this is what we were demoing in our unboxing. Since then,
they have come out now with the Flock Box version 2.
you can see it looks quite different.
Yeah.
Let me bring
very
this back
slick.
in and try and get them sort of together.
Yeah. The newer one looks quite slick.
Quite different.
It's a very, very nice upgrade. Very nice
Things
upgrade.
to note, give me that, Justin, is you see the way this has a deep dish?
Yep.
This has no dish whatsoever.
Yeah, the dish didn't help. The dish didn't help at all. The flat surface just works really great. The electronics have been upgraded. It's a powerful, powerful piece of kit. This, if you're into your minis and getting minis based and doing like fantasy armies and stuff like this, this is going to save your life. Believe me, right?
I'm happy with my black bases. What is wrong with you people?
Well, you say you're happy with your bases. Myself and Lloyd took the liberty of showing you the error of your ways. Okay?
I haven't been shown a damn thing. What have you done?
Well, we were looking through the comments going, yes, overwhelmingly you're being told to base this army.
Yes.
Right.
So we had to look through your army,
Right.
and we found little dwarves lying on their backs
My objective markers, yeah.
on cold black bases.
Yeah.
So we took the liberty of showing you just how how good they could look. So Lloyd, I'll pass that to you.
Do you want
You
to? Do you want
sneaky
to give?
flockers.
Yeah.
Yes, I did that bit. I'm not ashamed.
Here's how they look. Let me. The great thing is, right? It's a little dwarf lying flat.
Look at him! Look
In a
how
field.
cozy he looks!
Now let me show you this on a profile angle. Look at that. Look at the deep, lovely grass that he's just relaxing in.
In other words, we thought,
I love
here's
it.
a dwarf that is lying in a meadow with his beer. You'll put him back on there.
Look at that guy.
You look at him. Look how happy he is.
Well, I know these are kind of meant to be dead the way Mantic does
get
them,
the
but I
side
hadn't
profile
planned
again?
on them to actually be dead. It was them just going, nope, I had a pint, I'm laying down.
When we
Yeah.
flocked this, I didn't think it would turn out as funny looking as that.
Yeah, it's lovely. It is lovely.
Because we were having a chat about what sort of grass we should
Yeah.
use. And I says, we'll use a mix. We'll have like some short grass and we'll use some 6mm. I didn't think the 6mm would lap up all around him. I think it looks amazing.
Right. Do you want to see how it's done? Will we show you how it's done?
Alright, show me how it's done.
Right.
I assume this has to come out the way.
Right. First thing you do is you PVA a base. So I have pre-PVA'd this for you.
Okay.
There it is in all its glory. So I've applied a layer of PVA.
Yep,
just
this one I
directly
specifically
to the
have
base.
laying down with his dog guarding him.
Yeah, we thought we'd do the same thing again. He's dropped his beer, and the dog is
Let's
there.
see how easy it is to go from this
Yep.
to this.
Yeah.
And
okay.
the key here is that the grass stands upright. Okay.
Okay.
So right, Lloydie, take it away.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a page and I'm going to turn it this way because I'm just going to use this to capture some flock because flock tends to go everywhere. The static grass,
Right,
not
so
flock,
just to
the
keep
static
it
grass
neat and
tends
clean,
to
I'm
go
guessing.
everywhere. I don't know why it's called the flock box when it's mostly static grass stuff that you're using.
Yeah.
So what we did is we just got a little handful of like one little color. Can we go to a close cam?
Yeah.
Maybe that one. That's
Yeah.
the one. So I'm just going to put that down there.
So this looks like some kind of Highland grass.
Not too much of that because that's quite dark. I'm going to get
Some bright green, I'm guessing.
and this is like what is this like 2 or 3 mil, something like that. It's not very long anyway. It's like 3 or 4 mil. Put down a blob of that. Now what you'll find is it comes out
In blobs.
in blobs. We can break that up, but let me just try and get some of the stuff that's already pre-broken up. All right, Justin, pop that one back in there.
Okay.
All right. Now to help you break that up, what I have here is I have a sieve.
Right.
So I'm just putting all this stuff down on the white page now so as you can see it all.
Okay.
And there's some longer stuff. A little less longer stuff than the rest.
Alright.
And what I'll do is I will just dump all that into a sieve.
Alright.
As you can see here. Hopefully not fall
So
straight
does
through.
Does it go onto the flock box then?
Yes. So let me put that down there.
Okay.
And get me the flock box.
Mm-hmm.
So is the flock box, there we go.
Yeah.
Right, now this point, this is the bit, if I just squeeze that all through,
You're just separating everything.
yeah, the sieve.
So it's all sitting nice and flat. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, let me put a little bit more long grass into that. Or is it short grass I want? I want a little bit short grass.
Okay.
Some of this shorter stuff.
So I'm guessing you don't really need to be scared if you're doing a wee bit of a mix. You can just put it back into a bag, yeah?
Yeah, and then you see the way I can just break up the balls using the sieve by just pushing it down through. I don't know if you see, there we go.
Yeah. And then you just have a nice little pile of separated out static grass.
Yeah, and then you can maybe just sort of shimmy it about. So you
Okay.
want like it all spread out,
Okay.
right? Now it comes with two cables, a green one and a red one.
Yeah.
Why does it have two cables? I'll tell you why it has two cables. The green one is to use if you're just using it directly over the flock box.
Yep.
But you can connect the red one up, but it says in the manual, connect everything before you turn it on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you can connect that to a sieve
Yep.
to
With a rubber handle.
with a rubber handle.
Yep.
This one doesn't have a rubber handle. And then you can use the green one to attract it to a different object and take the
Oh,
stuff
that-
through the sieve.
It's basically allowing you to go for a bigger area.
Now
or stuff like-
that's very
So
cool.
you can use it
That's
like
very
that.
Cool. Yeah. It's a great upgrade of a product, I've got to say.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to flock this one little thing.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, where's the previous one? Bring me that back up.
Oh.
No, bring
Now,
me
if
that.
you give me the toothpick,
this?
is the toothpick sitting handy there?
No, but we have a little.
Oh, we have
on
another
top of this.
toothpick. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to
I just
give
did the
this
top.
base just a little agitation because it's been sitting just for a wee minute now. So,
If you can just go to a close cam for me, I just want to show off one little thing.
Mhm.
Between the first version that we got,
Uh-huh.
and this new version, do you see how much bigger this clip is?
Yeah.
That's going to be useful for what we're about to do, because before you would attract the grass to this.
Well, you see, I think if I remember right, when you first had that had a little crocodile clip on it, and you clipped it to a little metal plate.
Oh, maybe
But
that.
I think
maybe
that
that
went
is. Maybe
missing.
we've just lost it.
Yeah, I think that just went missing,
Yeah.
yeah.
unfortunately.
Okay, so I hope that your static
Ready?
grass hasn't dried, or your PVA hasn't dried too much, but there you go.
Right. Moment of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it on. It's now
So-
active. You can see stuff starting to move around already.
Yeah.
Let me make sure. No, go to the other camera so I can make sure that we have this nicely in shot.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, go to the wider shot
Okay.
as I turn this over.
Right.
So what I've done is I've got it just behind the miniature.
Yeah.
Now I go to the close shot.
Hold on, yeah.
Now as I go further down, go into the tighter shot.
And
Do
look,
you
look,
see
look,
it
look,
all?
look, look, it's like magic! It's like magic! Now I see you're doing a kind of an up and down motion there.
Yes. Now there's a DVD that comes with it.
Yes. Now that's by our good buddy, the Terrain Tutor.
Yes.
Yep.
Now he suggests that you go up and down because if you move around, as in move around like this,
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're making the
Hang on,
grass.
as you move around like what?
You move around
okay.
like that, you're
yeah.
making the grass lean different directions rather than go straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he suggests that you just keep coming up and down.
I love the way it just magically
It's an interesting...
jumps up.
Oh, I got a shock! Sometimes you do get a shock.
Yeah.
You
So
can
maybe
wear,
rubber gloves?
yeah, you can wear some rubber gloves.
Right, break out the marigolds.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
Okay. So
let me
turn
just
it off.
Turn that off,
Before you shock yourself again.
and then I can actually set us down on that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there we go.
So,
And there we go.
yeah, that
Let me just turn that around.
actually works really, really well. I would
Isn't that
maybe
cool?
have used a little bit more grass.
Yeah, we can
No,
put
what
more
would you
grass
see once
on there.
the PVA dries?
Uh-huh.
Believe me, this one looked exactly the same. If you hold that under,
So
this
if I
one
hold
looked
this under-
exactly the same whenever it was done.
Right.
But when the PVA dries, remember the PVA disappears, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
grass just fills it all up.
okay.
If you are concerned about it, though, you just throw a bit more grass down on
Okay, and just
Right.
give it another run then.
and just give it another one. So let me just quickly throw some down.
Is this the shorter stuff?
Get rid of the lumps.
Yeah.
the shorter, because the shorter stuff will go in past the longer stuff.
I see. I
Yeah.
suppose if you're going up and down, it has a chance actually to miss it and go
So
up through.
if you're trying to fill a gap,
Yeah.
Now you need to put the bit on the back.
Yeah, the
Use the
activator.
longer stuff. Way! Can we see all that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can see that perfectly.
I'm just moving around a bit rather than I should be going up and down. Let's see. There you go. Where do you see this now, Justin?
Okay, let's have a look.
Ta-da!
So, yeah, that looks a bit more like it to me.
A bit more
So-
filled in.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And then I suppose when that dries and you lose that whiteness off it,
Yes.
it'll look even better.
And then we've probably used a little less of the tall grass this
Yeah,
time.
so he doesn't
Yeah.
look quite like he's in such a wild part of the world now.
It's not funny though. It is
Yeah,
funny with the
it
really
is
long
funny when
stuff.
he's in the long grass.
I mean-
you know, it's
Yeah, and I want to pick this one up just for a second and have a look. Yeah, it's even got in around the front of the little dog.
Yeah.
So the smaller bits have went in there, but the bigger bits have somehow missed in there.
yeah.
And that's great because if you were just trying to drop it all down,
Yeah, you miss all those bits. You'd
It's a
have
bit
to
of-
be trying to tamp bits in.
first of all, it'll basically land flat.
Yeah.
Yep.
And second of all, like Justin's been pointing out, it's hard to get it down in
Yeah, you'd have to take one of those little balls and start tamping it into the corners.
and under the
Yeah.
gap. So
And then you're just lifting PVA off again.
it's a good bit of kit. And I quite like the new big surface.
The form factor is much improved. You know, it's let me put this into perspective, right? Whenever Bolt Action, we did the Bolt Action boot camp, okay?
Yes.
At the very last minute, we decided that we were going to do a mashup between Bolt Action and Mars Attacks.
Yep.
Right? We painted and based an entire Mars Attacks army, a huge Mars Attacks army, because remember,
Yeah.
it had to be enough to face off against 10 or 15
Yep.
Bolt Action armies.
I know because I wasn't here at the time and I'd seen stuff sitting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I was like, wow, you
Where the
guys
hell
have
did all
done
this
all
come
this
from?
and based
Yeah.
all this already.
Yeah. And we grass based using the original Flock box, that entire Mars Attacks army, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Static grass bases are God's cheat for gamers.
Well,
I've used it on Mars Attacks as a cheat to get an army base. The other time I used it to great effect was Myth.
Right.
Myth, the board game. I just wanted to spray the miniatures. I'm a great believer in easy things these days because there's so many games you want to play, and it's nice to have some color on it. I just base coated them. I
Yep.
picked out 2 maybe details on each miniature, and then I flocked the whole lot.
do you want to know the problem? You've now done 2 of the miniatures out of my army.
Yes.
The rest of my army no longer matches you get. I might have to do the rest of it.
Well, you can see how quick it is.
Oh, I can see how
And
quick
we've
it
got
is.
2 of them.
Yeah.
I can see how
You
quick
could be
it
going
is.
like this.
So the question is, are you gonna base your
Well, I
miniatures
have
this
to
way?
now. You've started the job, but I don't like leaving a job unfinished.
Yep.
You started this job for me, so now I have to finish it.
just before we did get a battery pack with this as well, so you
Yeah.
can run this off a 9-volt battery.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the new version comes with a power pack. I'm using
Yeah, I don't think it does come with a power
Yeah.
pack, but any kind of like a 9-volt power pack
Yeah,
will work for
I was
it, so-
actually watching a tutorial
Mhm.
for this particular box. It'll also work with a 12-volt, but that kicks up the power a bit.
Yes, if you want some more juice
If
to
you
give
want a
yourself
little
a
bit
bigger
more
zap.
oomph, Master Johnson,
Now that I'm interested in because the 12-volt
you'll have a bigger field.
would be good for the larger terrain projects that
Yeah,
we
so if
yeah.
you're
tend to
connecting
work
up that
If-
red cable,
If we're
Yeah.
doing the whole sieving thing,
on. Uh-huh.
so basically you've got your green cable, you've got like a metal plate underneath something that
Yeah.
you're trying to get
Yeah.
the grass to stick to, and you're going like this.
yeah. Well, you see, what I think that
If
would have
it
been
ha-
useful for. You remember the drop zone commander boards?
Yeah,
Where we
if
did
it-
those big grass areas.
Yeah.
When you're
Something like that.
when you're trying to get it through a thicker surface, a bit more voltage might be just what you need.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Definitely. I think it's a great product.
Well, it's a very cool thing.
Absolute lifesaver. If you want to make your minis cute, you got to get one of these. So
And just before we go, it
Yeah.
comes with silicone paper, and you
Okay.
might go, "What's the purpose of this?"
yeah, what is silicone paper?
Can we get a closer shot of this stuff?
Yeah.
It looks just basically like sort of grease paper or something,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be paper that's more conductive than regular sort of
Okay.
paper. And what you would do is you put blobs of PVA on it,
Uh-huh.
and you can make static tufts.
Oh, you
Static
make grass
grass
tufts.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sweet.
Which I believe we have a Hobby Lab tutorial coming up just on that. It's a kind of like all things tuft. So we're looking at all different kinds of tufts and stuff like that and how you would make them with and without things like the flock box.
Yes.
It's an interesting little piece of kit. You
It's
gave me a lot of work to do. Thank you for that.
It's something that's still in the planning stages.
Yeah.
Because I want to try and figure out ways of being able to achieve this effect, or as close to this sort of effect without actually using a flock box, as we can talk about.
Two different methods of doing it. Yeah.
In the video.
But believe me, the flock box is just going to save you time, and it'll create an army that just looks absolutely fantastic. You know, and a big bag of the flock. Hold up one of them big bags of flock. You know, we used a bag about that size.
Can you get there? We go.
Yeah, we used a bag about that size, and we barely dented it for an entire Mars Attacks army.
Yeah.
So it just worked really well. Okay, guys, remember, go and check out warpainter.net, and our buddy over at the Terrain Tutor YouTube channel has some other tutorials on how to use it. It is a brilliant upgrade to what was already a very cool product and a good time saver.
Yep.
Okay,
Excellent.
right, we're going to take a quick break. Let's tell you about some hubs.
Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com. Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game.
Hi guys, and welcome back. Right, historical time. It's time to talk some World War II.
It is.
Yep. Jono, what is happening in the world of Second World War miniature gaming?
Well, Bolt Action are looking at some experimental rules for bringing aircraft onto the table.
Right.
Previously, we've had...
No, wait. There is already aircraft in Bolt Action, is there not?
Actual miniatures on the table of aircraft.
Ah.
Because previously, the way the rules are set out now is that you have an aircraft observer who calls in what is essentially an artillery barrage or a bombing run or something like that, and you pick the plane that comes in, or you roll for the plane that comes in. But now you're going to be able to pick the plane, and it's going to be part of the army list.
So different planes will have different profiles and stuff like that. Can you give me have you any idea of how it basically works?
Yeah, I've been reading up on the rules quite a bit. So the basic idea is you'll actually have your plane, right? Means it can be shot at. So this is something to be wary of.
Now, previously you couldn't shoot at planes, was that it, or?
It was
Oh
essentially...
no, you had a kind of an anti-air type thing.
You had an anti-air thing, yeah.
But this is actually allowing you, if you have something with flak sitting in ambush, and it gets too near, just daka 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 as that comes in. Although it does say in the rules it's mandatory to make the sound as you fly in, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
But the way it works is you'll start off in reserve, right? As soon as you get that reserve, you get to move on to the table. Now you can only give the planes two orders, either a advance or a run. The advance order is you going in for your attack.
Yep.
So you move on, you get within 12 of your opponent, you shoot away. These things have a lot of guns. They're very painful.
Yeah.
If you're still there at the next turn, you do a run, which is you pulling up and going back up into the clouds to get ready for your next attack run. So you're coming on the table, going off the table.
Yeah.
As soon as you go off the table, you're losing all your pins.
Oh, so it's all based on pinning now, is it?
Yeah, it counts as a soft skin vehicle, so it's that 6 up, but it doesn't instantly die whenever you get through the armor like most of them.
Yeah.
You have to get 6 pins on it in a turn to kill it, right? But that's not so easy with it flying away and going, aha, I'll be back another day.
And as soon as it flies away, it loses the pins and it comes back in fresh.
But that's when you start to get the tactics of interceptor fighters.
Right. Okay.
Say I have an aircraft flying in. My nose is down. I'm aimed at the ground. I'm ready to shoot and shoot and shoot.
Yeah.
Interceptor comes in, matches my turn, and gets ready to shoot me before I shoot anyone else. So I might die that way.
So you even get a sense of almost like a dogfight type thing where planes are taking out planes.
Yeah. Now you're only on the table every other turn, so it's not a constant pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get that first reserve roll, you're guaranteed to come back in the turn after you go off.
Nice.
So it's flying in and out and weaving and bobbing. Lovely
What
stuff.
about models?
Models, the guys actually at Warlord have got some models in their web store.
Yeah.
If I show you this. So they've went to a company called Easy Models. They're doing pre-painted metal models. So I think
pre-painted?
Yes, they're pre-painted. Let me get you a bigger image here. How about a Messerschmitt? Pre-painted and looking lovely. That's not bad for something that you're just buying straight out the box.
Oh, we have to get a look at one of these.
Yeah.
So it's it's a die-cast metal pre-painted model.
Exactly, made by Easy Models. And if you actually don't see what you want in the Warlord store, you can go on across 2 Easy Models and find a really wide selection of other stuff that you can pick up.
Now that is nice.
But you have to be careful because the rules are experimental. At the bottom of the article where the rules are the listings for each of the aircraft.
Yeah.
So each nation is getting 3. So you're getting fighters, fighter bombers, things like that, ground attack planes. What do you think, John? You going to get a Hurricane?
Maybe get a Hurricane. I might just go the very traditional Spitfire, though.
Yeah.
Or, if we're getting ground attack planes, get a Mosquito.
I'm tempted to get an ME-262.
He's just... No, because that's a jet fighter. You're not allowed jets.
I'm playing late war.
You're not allowed
I'm
jets.
playing late war.
Well, I think I'm going to end up with some kind of fucker.
You're playing Russians, then?
Yeah, well, I captured fucker. I've captured a number of them, and now I'm using them.
With your flight of Fokkers?
Yes.
You're running them with a flight
Yes.
of Fokkers. Okay.
Because I've heard the story, of the witches,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
But I'm going to have a band of female pilots called the Mothers,
Right.
okay? And they're going to be flying Fokkers. And it's going to be devastating
Yes.
for any of my enemies.
So my Germans will be on the ground going, oh,
Yeah,
crap,
right,
here they come.
yeah. We have these,
Yeah,
okay?
So these are from the bolt action.
Now this is
boot
from our
camp.
own little bolt action boot camp.
Yeah.
Now these were just little cheapy jobbies that we picked up.
Yeah.
I think you get 2 for £1.
Yeah.
And it's,
And I think, they still have one of the most satisfying things that any plane can have.
I think you can go like, or can you? Yeah, you can go back.
But you have to do it from here.
Watch. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's stalled on the runway.
We'll try again. Way. Yeah. So it's you can go and you pick up these things, but we had an amazing time with these, and we created some custom rules for them.
Yeah.
They look great after a little bit of
TLC.
weathering. You know, there wasn't very much painting done on them. We just did a bit of weathering, and I think they look absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. Nice
So bolt action aircraft rules, definitely go and check them
We're gonna
out
have
if
to have a
you're
play with these,
into your
John.
bolt action. Okay, to round out the show, I just want to make an announcement that our longtime member and collaborator Oriskane is starting up a brand new article series. Now this time it's a World War II series.
Okay, so he's not going 2.5 or anything like that, or World War 3 now?
No, this is a World War II series. Now I'm going to get John to give us the ins and outs of it. But this is an article series about the Desert War.
Yeah.
Now I'm particularly interested in this one because I have waxed lyrical about my love of Patton the movie and how much I really enjoyed that movie as a piece of cinema. I thought it was great. And I learned a thing or two, and then I've learned a lot more from the community about what I thought I had learned.
Who told you what was wrong with the movie?
But I still love the movie. Now, John, what kind of things might we expect here from Oriskane's series that's going to come up?
Well, it's the Desert War covers practically everything early war to mid war. Up to 1942-43 basically is when that desert campaign sort of ended. Oriskane is going to be going into like the equipment that was there, the battles that were fought.
Well, what scale is it going to be?
He's looking at 15 mil, I believe. He's going to be using the Plastic Soldier Company rule set.
Yep, so that's the battle group stuff
from
Plastic Soldier Company.
He's using the battle group one, and he's working it to 15 mil, I believe.
Okay.
And he's going to be covering all sorts of stuff because this is such a huge area of the war. So you've got El Alamein, you have the Battle of Tobruk, you've got the Africa Corps, you've got all the British and the Commonwealth forces there.
Yeah, and you have 3 of the biggest players in the war for the actual generals.
Yeah.
Because you have...
Oh, I know this boy!
Yes, that's the man himself.
Yeah.
Patton himself.
So we've got Patton, Montgomery in the middle.
And Rommel.
And Rommel. Hey, tell me a bit about these guys, right? Now, from the movie, right, you basically got the impression from the movie that Patton was amazing. Montgomery was a bit of an arse.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Patton was a bit of an arse too.
Well, an amazing arse, all right, and that Rommel was basically Patton's nemesis. He obsessed with the idea of defeating Rommel.
Yeah.
You know, and then you got the impression from the movie that the Germans became a little bit obsessed with Patton themselves.
Yeah.
How true? Like, was Montgomery an arse? Or were they just all arses? Maybe that's a sign of command,
there's
is it?
a certain personality amongst all three of these that they sort of share.
History remembers the insane people.
Yeah.
History remembers the people that stood out from the crowd. So there's your 3 examples straight away of the 3 generals that really stood out in the war.
Now, the movie really gave the impression that the Americans were doing all the hard work and Montgomery was just trying to
sneak in and steal the
sneak
glory.
in and steal the glory. Was it like that? Was it a bit like that, or is that maybe not as balanced?
The simplest way I can put it is that Britain started the war in 1939 and America didn't come along until 1942.
Right.
That says it all for me personally.
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard that Britain started the war.
Entered the war in 1939. I am sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there was a few years of battle, and
Yep.
I take it a lot of that battle then took place. You know, was Montgomery in the desert or in that?
Montgomery initially was sort of in the UK. He was doing a lot of other stuff. He was then sent to the desert to replace. Was it? I can't remember. Maybe it was Orkanlek or something like that. Or
There's
one of the
probably a
other
reason you
generals.
can't remember him.
Yeah, that's maybe a reason. There was several failures with the British generals, and Churchill turfed them all out and said, "Monty's your man. Take take command." Monty himself has always been said to be a bit too cautious with his tactics, but I can see why he was cautious because Britain didn't have the manpower that America
very
brought.
limited resources.
Exactly. Yeah. I would probably say that out of the 3 of them, Monty was probably the best general.
And suddenly the internet cried out in horror.
Well, if it does, now you've got something to talk about in the comments. So,
is John wrong?
Monty gets a terrible rep. Private Ryan rip him a
do you know any sensible comment about this? We'll include in the draw for the Kings of War prize. So that's
fair enough.
So so if you want to talk about this, we're happy to include that in the draw. So the draw.
So Rommel then. Rommel was your typical German general. He stood up for what he believed, which was Germany. He believed in Germany more than he believed in the Reich.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a true Nazi, but he's seen a career path through the Third Reich, and he became field marshal while he was out in the desert.
Yeah.
A lot of
there wasn't a true Nazi. I know that there'll be somebody here watching this going, how historically factual is that though? It's or is it very kind of open to interpretation? Just what drove these men?
A lot of the German generals, the traditional German generals, which all came from like the Prussian military way back.
So that's the Wehrmacht guys, is it?
The Wehrmacht, the ones that made up the German army before Hitler came to power. They were sort of enthralled by Hitler's the possibility that Hitler could give them for their careers.
Yeah.
A lot of them were very strong careerists and wanted to move up the ladder, and they seen following Hitler doing would get them that.
Because certainly in a lot of the, again, everything I get from movies really, but I always got the sense that the Wehrmacht was in some ways quite separate from the Third Reich, from the Nazis. I know it was controlled by them, but even in the likes of Downfall and stuff like that, you got the sense that the Wehrmacht generals were much more level-headed and they didn't seem as psychotic. Yeah. Almost as the SS and stuff.
Fanatic, I think, is the word you're looking for.
Fanatic, psychotic. There's a fine line between fanaticism and psychoticism. Psychoticism? Yeah.
That's a word now. Yeah. That's a thing. It's on the internet. It will live forever.
It's because the German generals knew how to wage a war. They knew what an army needed. They knew what an army had to do. Whereas the upper echelon of the Third Reich, especially in the Nazi Party, hadn't a clue. I mean, your country is led by who was a corporal in the First World War and never went anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Your Minister of Air barely got into an aircraft in his entire life. He was a pilot in the First World War and didn't do much else beyond that. So you have all these really highly experienced generals being led by people that a lot of the generals considered very poor people because these generals outrank them in real life if they put all their uniforms back on.
Yeah.
The problem was that the generals had to follow the Nazi line. They had to follow what Hitler wanted, because what Hitler wanted would benefit them if it worked out. So in the desert campaign, if we get back on topic with that,
Yep.
Well, like I have a little bit of a map here in this image, actually showing where they were sort of fighting for some of it. I think
it's the desert campaign all happened along the coast.
Yeah.
Really, because inland of that is just nothing, just desert, just flat, open sand, absolutely nothing going on in there.
Yeah.
Impassable to vehicles as well, which is a big problem.
and then the vehicles of the time, because they were still learning some of the tactics and things that they could and could not do with a vehicle in a desert at that time.
Well, Blitzkrieg failed in the desert.
Yep.
It absolutely failed, because you had no major towns or cities you were passing through to resupply, or
it was all
get anything
villages.
from. Yeah, it was all villages and very, I hate to say the word backward, but it was, you know, there wasn't a lot of civilization out there in terms of what they were used to.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of supplies available. It all had to be shipped in and all had to be trucked in. And the Blitzkrieg tactics failed out there because there just wasn't enough to supply an army on the move.
Yeah.
What took them out there? Like, for example, oil in Saudi Arabia and stuff. That wasn't really discovered until after the Second World War, as far as I'm aware. So why were they even fighting out there?
There were most likely ports that were required.
It was to get a Mediterranean sort of defense for Italy, because Italy was partnered with Germany at the time. Mussolini had his own empire ideas, his imperial ideas. He wanted Egypt, so he was fighting towards Egypt. He wanted that as part of his empire. Germany came along and started to help them. After a while, when the British got there and said, "No, you can't have Egypt. We're friends with them." And when the Italians couldn't push through against the better British equipment and stuff, then the Africa Corps was brought on board.
Well, it is fascinating. So what can we expect? Each article in the series is going to focus on a particular phase of the Desert War, kicking off from June 1940, and it's going to go all the way up to May 43, I think it is. He's going to be talking about what the armies look like, the army composition, equipment, capabilities, the commanders.
The fact that the SAS got their start there as well.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a bit on the SAS and the
Long Range Desert Group.
Yeah, LRDG.
Yeah.
Now, who are the LRDG? I know we've all heard of the SAS, but I've never heard of the Long Range Desert Group before.
The Long Range Desert Group were a bunch of guys that ran around in desert camouflaged civilian cars, modified a little bit for the military, and they just wreaked havoc. Very similar to the SAS in a manner, because the SAS ran around and blew stuff up behind enemy lines and all that sort of stuff. We all know stories of Paddy Mayne and all that sort of thing. He was a psychotic Irishman as well.
It's kind of a running theme.
Long Range Desert Group was really the predecessor, if I remember my history.
Do they
right.
exist now? No.
I believe when the SAS came properly into being, I think it all got rolled into one.
Yeah.
So the experience of one got rolled into the other, and
I made something.
This was the first experiments of special forces. Well, I say first experiments within, within the armies of that time. It was the first kind of experiments of the special forces.
The first time where you had a very independent unit from the army that acted essentially on its own initiative.
Yeah. Well, other than that, he promises us a ton of myth busting as well. So I'm looking forward to this, because this will be another step towards me getting a really refined view of just what the characters and the commanders and things were like. So it's a great series, guys. Please do come on over and check it out. It's going to kick off on Monday 17th of August. So hop on over to beastofwar.com and get a read of that, and it'll be a good one. He does some amazing work, Oriskany. Okay, guys, I think we're going to call it. Remember, we are giving away a prize. We have a top prize of a 50 quid army deal, along with a Gamer's Rulebook of Kings of War 2, and then we have 4 runner-up prizes of the Gamer's Rulebook. To be in with a chance of winning that, post a comment. here on beastsofwar.com or on this video on YouTube or on the corresponding post on Facebook. We will probably accept anything that's well thought out, that it progresses the discussion.
Yeah.
If you put in anything along the lines of
Pick me, I want to win.
anything like that, if it's nonsense, you're not going to win. If it's progressing dialogue, you are going to win. And Happy Howler, a community member, I'm hoping will be jumping up and down in his jammies because he's inspired this. We're going to try and keep these comments focused and interesting. So this is an experiment. We'll see how it goes. Okay, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Remember to come on over to beastsofwar.com. Tomorrow morning, we have the Weekender XLBS, a whole other Weekender show. I've got some really, really interesting stuff to show you guys, including a really, really cheap airbrushing method.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, this could be interesting.
Yes, yes. I've been looking at simple, effective things this last while, and I've got some stuff I want to talk about on the show tomorrow.
All right, cool.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and all been well. We'll see you tomorrow at beastsofwar.com.
Progress comes to a world of magic as science and the arcane combine to make marvels. Meet steampunk inventors and orc mystics at the Volsung Hub on beastsofwar.com. From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com.